What's up, YouTube? For the love of toys here with the For the Love of Collecting Marvel Legends series, Spider-Man 2 Gamerverse Venom. So, I brought this Venom because I like larger size figures. I don't know how he really scales into I didn't play the video game, so I don't know how he scales into the universe, but, I saw some pictures and it seems like it might work, pretty well. So I figured I'd take a chance on it. The price was $59.99. I don't know how much it was at retail. I'm assuming that's what it was because prices have gotten much higher now. I remember we used to get $25, $30 figures, 12 inches, like that Spider-Man that's next to the box on the left, for $25, $30, $40. And I think that was like the max. But 12-inch figures were supposed to be more. But Venom looks really good in his packaging, and we're going to take him out. I'm going to do some serious comparisons, so sit back, relax, get your snacks. And as you can see by the window box, Venom comes with 2 fists, some drool to go around his mouth, 1 head, well, 2 heads with the one on, 2 sets of hands, and this piece here that's like a grappling, almost like a venomized shot out. And that's it. And we're going to turn it around. Let's see the side of the packaging here. There's some box art there. And I'm assuming this is how he looked in the movie. I do not own Gamerverse Spider-Man, unfortunately, so I won't be able to, give you that comparison, but I'm sure somebody will. That's the back of the packaging. Very nice product shot here. On the back it says, powered by the extraterrestrial symbiote. The relentless villain Venom threatens all New York and pushes Peter Parker and Miles Morales to the very limit. So that's the read up there. Top of the box, since it's a Gamerverse figure, has Gamerverse on the top. And that's that. Let's get Venom out of the packaging and take a look. All right. Here Venom is out of the packaging. And he looks pretty good. He's not as large as I thought he was initially. He looks a little smaller, I guess because I have all these big giant figures around him, which I'll show you in a second. He doesn't seem quite as big. It would fit into the scale of 112, I would think, fairly well. And I'll give you some comparisons to give you my reasoning on that. Looks very good. It's going to be kind of hard for me to show you his articulation and things because he's so big, but we'll get him in a good shot here. So we have him. Head only looks up that far. Looks down that far, which is good, and has butterfly joints here. Usual fanfare of Marvel Legends, just in a bigger scale. Rotate at the biceps, double jointed elbows, as you can see, fold in fairly decent. I mean, really decent, honestly. You can touch his own shoulder there. And ab crunch. Doesn't really them crunch, as you can see, pops back up. It's like almost like a plastically fill in there. So he only crunches, but if you could get him to hold his crunch, you would crunch that far and it will go back that far. Painting is all the way up to the top, as you can see. Always a nice touch. Move that out the way. No rotation at the waist, no drop down, swivel at the thighs, double jointed knees for such a big figure. Let's see how he does. Oh man, the articulation is getting much better these days. So you have that, splits out that far, as you can see. Put him back here. Splits out that far. Then swivel at the ankle, not even the calf, at the ankle, below the calf. Pivot at the toe and hinge. Very, very nice articulation. I don't think I missed anything because I always seem to leave something out when I go over articulation. But that's decent. And I mean, there's some nice articulation. He even rocks a little bit too, as you can see, left and right. Back and forth on there. But like I said, that waist is very spongy. So if you're looking for a deep crunch, you're not going to get it out of this figure. But that's that. All right. So now that we got the articulation out of the packaging, let's look at his back. Very nice paint job. I think I might have had one little blemish somewhere. I like the way they continued the paint job onto the butterflies. Doesn't really bother me if they didn't. That's the back of the figure. That's the back. Bottom of his feet have peg holes. And that's that. Let's look at his accessories real quick. Let's get him so he doesn't fall over here. Like I said, right and the left fist. That's that. Nothing to write home about. It doesn't have the little white emblem on the back, which I like. I think that might have been a McFarlane thing, I'm not sure. And this is the grasping Venom my shot that he grabs his foes with. Has a peg hole so he can put it on his hand. I'm not going to put it on. It's fairly self-explanatory. It's a peg inside there. Pegs into either hand. Doesn't matter right or left, I don't believe. And we have this head with the slime already attached. It has a hole in it. Just slide it up the tongue and it goes right in. Looks very, very nice. And that's how that looks from the front. That's the peg on the bottom. And that's how it looks from the back. Eyes are clean. No blemishes as far as paint job is concerned. All right. Now let's get into what we came and what you came here for. Some comparisons in a what-if perspective. Here he is with Null 2-pack Venom with the wings. I thought this was what that was based on, but it's not. As you can see, the emblems are different. And here he is with the venomized Venom ooze shot, whatever you would like to call it. What's that? Let's go back in time. This is a Spider-Man 12-inch. Don't remember what series it was. Very nice foil type boxing packaging for that Spider-Man. As you can see, he was very articulated for a 12-inch figure, and he's crouched down, but I have another figure so you can see the actual height. I want to leave him in that pose because that's how I'm going to display him. So that is Marvel Legends 12-inch series Spider-Man. This is how he stacks up against Monster Venom. This is how he stacks up against the same figure that I showed you in the first shot with Peter Parker, 12-inch Marvel Legends. This is a 12-inch Marvel Legends. Nice pearlescent paint job. As you can see, he has the emblem on the back of the hand for the web shot. McFarlane style eyes. Excellent paint job. Same articulation as the last Spider-Man that was in that crouching pose. That's how he stacks up against that Spider-Man. And that is a 12-inch figure. And you see how tall he is. 10.5 is right about where it's supposed to be. This is how he stacks up with the 12-inch Marvel Legends from back in the day. Somebody customized for me. It's a Red Hulk, as you can see. Probably the best Red Hulk you'll ever see. He needed some finishing touches, but I never, got around to doing it. That's how he stacks up against him. This is how he stacks up against a Marvel Legends Hulk. This Hulk hit all the bargain bins at the time. At the time, I believe he was $50, $60 at Toys R Us. Look at the size of that Hulk. Looks very good. Looks young, as a matter of fact. Outstanding articulation for a figure that large. And he also has Miles Morales that I just recently reviewed in his hand. All right, that's the Hulk. Here he is with a random werewolf guy I picked up, detective. I figured, I'll probably never get to show this figure, so I figured I'd give you a look. It's a 12-inch figure. As you can see how he compares to him in size. He has a suit on, blue shirt, tie, and you can see that goofy head under that hat. Move his hat a little bit so you can look at it, and that's that. So that's how he stacks up against a 12-inch figure. This is how he stacks up against a 12-inch cool model, I believe this was, Monsters Werewolf. He's crouching down. I'm not going to pick him up because he's hard to get posed, but it just gives you an idea of how he would look with the 12-inch figure. Again, this is Cool Model Werewolf. This is how he stacks up with the latest, hottest figure on the planet, Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man. Here's how he stacks up against a standard Marvel Legends Hulk in a 7, maybe 7.5 inch scale figure. Gray Hulk Retro. Here's how he stacks up against Mezco Thanos. Here's how he stacks up against Marvel Legends Punisher. Here's how he stacks up against Toy Biz from back in the day, Build-A-Figure Monkey Man. Let's go back in time. Here's how he stacks up against an old Marvel Legends cloth suited 12-inch figure of Venom. Here's how he stacks up against a Marvel Legends 12-inch Venom from back in the day. This was the comparison I was most interested in. As you can see, Venom's pretty crouched down, and he still stacks up fairly well against him. So that's the Marvel Legends 12-inch series, Venom. Here's how he stacks up against another 12-inch Marvel Legends. I believe these were called icons. Don't hold me to that, but I believe they were called icons. That is a red and blue suit Spider-Man. Super articulated for his size. That's how he stacks up against him. Let's go back in time. Here's how he stacks up against a Marvel, don't believe this was a Legends figure, just a Rotocast Hulk. This was a very good figure for its time. I mean, it's very odd, very plasticky, but I always like the design, and I like the head sculpt as well. The articulation is weird, but you know, it works, and it's just Hulk, so he's going to be in a standing pose most of the time. But here's how he looks with a Rotocast Hulk. Here's how he looks with a Marvel Legends Icons. I don't know if they were Legends, but Marvel Icons 12-inch Captain America. As you can see, Captain America is a pretty huge figure. It was really well made. They were based on this 1/12 scale figures. They were really well made. As you can see, the scales and the textures and everything were spot on. But that's how he looks with Icons Cap. Here's how he looks with a 12-inch T'Challa. I believe this was a movie figure due to the likeness, but this is a 12-inch Black Panther. That's how he looks with him. If you haven't noticed by now, I like to go back. 12-inch Marvel, can't remember the series. 12-inch, really well done figures. If you can find them, they're fairly cheap. Wolverine. You can see the face sculpt. Very, very well done figure. Once again, 12-inch Wolverine. And these 12-inch figures that I'm showing you now have cloth goods, and they were from Marvel back in the day. Like I said, I don't remember the series, but once again, 12-inch cloth, movie blade. Let's go back with Mego Hulk. That's how he looks with him. Here's how he looks with an Icons Deadpool. Here's how he looks with a super articulated, superposable Spider-Man. It was a movie figure from back in the day. I believe it's 24 inches. As you can see, he scales all the way out of my shot, and he barely fits into my area here. So that's him with superposable, super articulated movie Spider-Man. And here he is with one of my favorite Punisher figures of all time. I mean, look at that face sculpt. Maybe I'll zoom in, I'll pick it up and carry it over to it so you can see, make it a little easier on both of us. Look at that face sculpt. To me, that's how the Punisher looks. I don't know what artist that is, but that's how the Punisher looks to me. And you see all his artillery and his cloth goods. Marvel did an excellent job, and I can't remember what year these are from, but whatever year it is, you can probably find it by now. Internet is incredible now. That figure, top notch, one of the best of all time. Here he is with the Mythic Legions Ice Cyclops. Outstanding figure as well. You can see how he scales with that. I don't know in what universe he would actually run into this behemoth of a figure, but that's how he looks with the Mythic Legions Ice Cyclops. And this is the last comparison I'm going to make today. One of my favorite figures in my collection. Like I said in previous videos, they are all my favorites, but this is in my top 5, if not the top 1 figure in my collection. Test Body 1000 Toys. Superposable. Just didn't come with enough hands to get him in certain poses. Didn't come with gun gripping hands. It was a lot of downfalls to the figure, but as far as execution, paint job, you see that face is just, see if we can get that face in there. See that face, it's just eerie. So that's how he looks with Synthetic Human, Test Body 1000 Toys. All right, that's it. Oh, and it was actually a quick plug for this figure here too. Takes a little bit of time out for you. I'll show you something. This Test Body figure is actually scaled down to a 1/6 scale, which they did an outstanding job with. He's not in a very good pose. I'm just going to show him really quickly. As you can see, that's the 1/6 of this 12-inch Test Body. All right. And that's all for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching as always. If you can find Marvel Legends and you're into a larger figure that can fit in your display, I believe Gamerverse Venom might be the way to go. If you can find one out without the blemishes, I think I have like 2, maybe 3 little specks on his chest. Nothing I couldn't touch up with a little white paint, but $60 is, you know, a little much for a figure, you know, but we're getting into that price now where you're going to have to make a decision on, you know, what you want to spend your money on. As always, I'm for the love. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And whatever you do, do it for the love.